Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and I must tread lightly today because I know y'all like to tussle, and I have a different opinion about something that happened recently than a lot of people that I saw comment on it. So I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I'm putting this at the beginning of the video or cutting it into a video, so I did that introduction anyway, but I am very much not dressed to film a video, but I wanted to film this part because I believe that I was talking about Shy Girl and some comments that I got, and then I saw some more things about it on Threads. I just wanted to talk about it really quick, but some of the comments, which were very fair, was saying that these AI detectors are also generative AI themselves, so how can we truly trust that? And that is so fair because I think I said that in my video, that we're in this place of where it's becoming very hard to determine what is created, or especially with writing, what is written using generative AI and what is not, since it was trained off of the writing of actual humans. And I think that's one of the most frustrating things about this entire situation with Shy Girl and just the landscape that we're in with publishing right now. So I just thought that was a fair point. Now, a lot of people who have read it, I have seen on various threads that they do think the book is it's either AI generated or it's just very poorly written. Now, again, I haven't read this book, but I saw a video from a person, and I can link it down below, who is saying that they did a little bit more follow-up and found out the company that did the AI scan, there was a salesperson for that company, Pangram, that reached out to the guy who's a publishing consultant. And so they knew each other. And then the publishing consultant is also friends with the guy who owns Pangram or runs Pangram. So there was a business relationship there. And the sales consultant at the AI tech company or whatever that uses AI to scan for AI brought the story to him. It's all very fishy. It seems like it's just a very messy situation where no one's hands are clean, because Mia Ballard has said that, she gave the story to a friend and that the friend used AI to edit the story. And so this seems like everybody has some fault here. The author, whomever she entrusted to do these edits, the publisher, the New York Times, because it seems to be some less than 100% authentic, clear reporting. This just seems like a mess. But I will link her video and then also this blog post by this guy, the one who really got involved with this, who brought the scoop to the Times, as he says. And I just think this is just an unfortunate situation. And I don't think this is the last time we're going to see this, unfortunately. This one is just what's happening right now. But again, there will be people who kind of do these witch hunts after authors. If they assume that just because it was poorly written or they didn't like the book, they may accuse people of writing with AI. It's just a lose-lose situation. And another reason I hate generative AI. Also, the guy who brought the story to the New York Times didn't even have the decency to buy the book. He got basically a pirated copy of the book. Does that deter from the fact that the book, it seems like AI was used partially to write it? No, but come on. You're he's supposed to be this industry professional that publishers use, and you can't even purchase a copy of the book? Because this is before, obviously, Hachette had taken it down for publication. So that's just trifling. I don't know. It's a messy situation. Again, I don't think it's the last time we're going to hear about it. It's just really upsetting. I hope that in the future, if Mia Ballard decides to write anything, that she just does it herself and doesn't entrust anybody else with her story. I don't know. I hate everything about it. Is just annoying. But I think one of the threads I referenced in my original video is a great point, talking about just how the publishing world is set up right now, with how many authors are being able to publish, but publishing doesn't have enough money or time. Let me stop. They have enough money, but they don't want to put the money, and they don't have enough people and time to put behind every author to help them develop these stories and to promote these stories. So some people are going to take shortcuts, and she got caught. So I don't know. The book got pulled. I don't know how we accurately detect AI writing if you have to use an AI system to detect AI writing. This is the bad place. Things that are not new. We have talked about author spaces, reader spaces, and how we should try to keep them as separate as possible, but obviously sometimes they overlap because some of these social media platforms don't have clear divides. I feel like I have said to not tag authors in reviews, but I think the general consensus has been to not tag authors in negative reviews, but you can in positive reviews. Now, the problem is that everyone has a different rating system and what they think about a review. So I still stand by don't tag authors at all. But I guess if you feel the need to tag them, like only a 5-star review. Why am I saying this? Well, recently there was an author, a reader posted a review on Instagram. It was a 4-star and tagged the author, which the author did not like. And I guess had posted, I think it was one of those posts where you can do like multiple slides. And at the end it was like, please don't tag me in reviews. So the author was like, okay, hold on, let me get my little screenshot. So under the post that the author was tagged in, she wrote, "Oh my God, thank you so much for reading. I appreciate it so much. Some feedback for you as well, as I know you're growing your following. I think the color scheme of this post is a little confusing, given the nature of the genre and the coloring of the book. It's so stunning, but I would probably have gone with deeper colors to match the cover and the vibe. Otherwise, it's beautiful. Similarly, a 4 out of 5. Have a blessed day." And then she posted, "I warned y'all, I stay out of reader spaces, so if you summon me, I will have my fun, and TBH, my feedback will always be sincere as someone who has grown social media platforms." I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Then I started seeing people talk about that author and like should have been grateful for a 4-star and like all these things. And I was like, oh, are we talking about the same person? Yes. And so a lot of threads, and just to be clear, this was a Black author, a Black reviewer, and so then this was a lot of Black readers on threads. I say that because then there were some white readers who came in, and then there was like, of course, they're taking up for the author. I thought it was funny. I don't think it was that mean. She got tagged, she made a comment. It was kind of like a haha, you're giving me a 4 out of 5, haha, I'm giving you a 4 out of 5. I thought it was funny. But people were dragging her up and down the timeline and saying, you know, let's see, saying, "I think that lady is corny for screenshotting her comment on that reviewer's post and posting with the 'See, I told y'all' caption. While the reviewer's intent most likely wasn't to be malicious, the author going out of her way to be messy and petty was. She could have left that comment and went on about her day, but she didn't. She brought it to toxic ass threads where she knew it would spark discourse. Very weird behavior." Fair that she didn't just make the comment, then she also did share it on threads. That's how a lot of people saw it. So that is fair. But so many people were just saying that the author was wrong to do that, and that if authors don't want to be tagged in reviews, then they should turn off their tagging options. And I'm like, that shouldn't have to be the thing. You shouldn't have to turn that off. I don't know. I just thought that was strange. Someone else posted, "Y'all do know she's gonna be at Black Romance Book Festival this year. Let her know how y'all feel to her face. Make sure you record it too." And obviously that person was most likely joking, but like so a lot of the behavior I've been hearing about readers at some of these signings and conventions, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody did do that, which I don't think is nice. Just like I heard of some signing where a reader had their reading journal and they had rated the book of this author that they were getting to sign their reading journal low and had her sign like that page. Like, people are just becoming worse, and it's just going to result in other readers who are not being terrible being punished, because authors are going to stop going to conventions and stop doing signings if people are going to be terrible to them. I'm referencing if somebody was to truly go in person and be nasty to this author, not the person's 4-star review. Although I still think you shouldn't tag authors. And some people were posting like things readers can't do: tag authors, give 3 to 4 star reviews, dislike characters, discuss books they DNF, complain about orders, complain about authors and their cult fans, ask when the next book in a series is dropping. What did I forget? And not all of these are true. You can give 3 4-star reviews. Hell, you can give 1 0 stars, DNF the book. You can do all of those things. I know they're referencing just a lot of the discourse that goes on threads about people being like, you shouldn't DNF a book. You need to finish it. You can't review a book if you have DNF'd it. But tag authors, yeah, maybe just stop doing that. That's not that fucking hard. You should, if you are reading a book, your reviews are for the readers. So why do you need to tag the author anyway? It's not to give the author feedback. And look, this comes from someone who personally wishes that Sarah Janet would give me a call because I can help you out, sister. Brandon Sanderson, same thing. Robin Hobb, hit my line. But like, I'm not saying that to be serious. Authors, it's different when there is maybe a widespread issue in a story that's like, this is a very problematic representation of a marginalized group. There is this thing, like sometimes that has happened, that wasn't caught in like a beta reading or something, but just in your opinion of the book, yours and mine, that does not mean the author needs to read that. They need to talk to their team, not just readers on the street. But there were some people really discussing as if like a reader's review is truly like critique an author needs to read. Because this says, has a facet of the convo really morphed into authors should appreciate critical feedback? Respectfully, absolutely not. Then this turned into a trend where there were authors who did that, and then they would like add a quote from something like, somebody said they didn't like my middle grade book because the kids were in middle school. Like just saying the ludicrous things that readers will tell them, and it's like, and you want me to take your feedback? Anyway, continuing from Nia Davenport. Critical feedback is only helpful when it comes from someone qualified who deeply gets the author's voice and understand what they're trying to say or do. I have to have an established relationship with someone who I know is qualified and who I implicitly trust to know my voice and give me actual constructive feedback aligned with my voice. Otherwise, I don't need to hear it. Critical feedback is highly subjective, so no, I'm not interested in any particular one person's opinion. Adding additional chatter to my creative process serves nothing to improve it. It only drowns out my own authenticity. Unsolicited critical feedback is rude as hell, and that doesn't just apply to authors. It applies to every person in any space. You wouldn't just walk up to a person and give unsolicited critiques of their appearance or job performance. Literally. As an enthusiastic reader but non-writer, I think a reader trying to give an author specific direct feedback on their writing is rude and weirdly parasocial, unless it's, I loved your book, please write more, or this huge general issue is very offensive and problematic for this reason, please reconsider. Another post was like, this type of author behavior is such a turnoff. It really makes readers feel like they shouldn't even tag authors in book posts or reviews at all. Yeah, just don't. Especially for a review that was pretty damn positive from my perspective. The biggest turnoff about this whole thing is not only did the author feel the need to go gather this reader, she then posted the screenshot bragging about it. For those looking for a come of context, screenshots on the second thread. So I agree with you. Like, I don't think she needed to come post that to threads. Like, I think she was having fun reveling in the mess, and like, okay, you're being a little extra messy. But I just don't understand why people are getting so hung up on not being able to tag an author. That's not saying you cannot read an author's books. That's not saying that you cannot rate an author's books low. You can't DNF that author's books. What are you seeking? Because literally not being able to tag an author is such a teeny ass thing in this whole experience. You're supposed to be reading books that you enjoy, hopefully, or hate reading, who knows? I love that too sometimes. And then you join the online book community, in my thought, to find other people to talk about books with, who maybe buddy read books with. So that's what matters here. And if you end up being in community with an author, like somehow, like I know some people are becoming author assistants, or you meet them at an event, or maybe you're an aspiring writer and they take you in as a to mentor you or something. Okay, but like your end all be all is, are you coming into the book space because you're trying to like just become a friend or like get free books from an author or something? I don't understand why so many people are getting hung up on, oh my God, we can't tag authors. Oh, well, what else can't we do? That is like, there's the list is so short. What am I missing here? Like, am I missing something? Like, why am I not understanding the uproar about this? Someone, don't tag authors in good reviews either. Matter of fact, just stop posting books, period. Nobody fucking said that. All you have to do is stop tagging the author. It's very simple. Switching to another topic that is a bit sensitive. So, unfortunately, publishing is a business. And so they like to sell books. People were very disturbed by Barnes & Noble emailing them the other day because of that eyeliner wearing man in the White House has a new book coming out called Communion. Who cares about the book? But it was like, this book is coming out, pre-order here because Barnes & Noble too is a business. Selling books, right? And so everyone was like, oh my God, boycott Barnes & Noble. This is unacceptable. Why are you carrying this book? And now I know that I probably in the past have bitched about that because I think that Simon & Schuster, like they do all of these big political memoirs, right? And again, it's hard to be a person on the internet because one thing and somebody holds that against you for life, but I acknowledge that at one time I probably said that too and realized later that that's like a calling for a form of book banning to ask a publisher to pull a book because it is by a person that I don't fundamentally agree with. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like how much money they get, how much like marketing and promotion goes into it. But unfortunately, again, these things are businesses, and then these large 7-figure title books make it possible for more mid-list authors to be published. I still don't like it. You don't have to like that Vance Boys book or read it for that matter. Actually, please don't buy it. Please don't read it. I did see this funny thing on Threads where people were like, Bell Hooks had a book called Appalachian Elegy, and then that eyeliner man came out with a book called Hillbilly Elegy, and then Bell Hooks also has a book called Communion, and now he has one called Communion. So if you want to buy a book named Communion, you should just buy Bell Hooks' book because that would be funnier. And it's probably worth reading. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. And having that book charting and his book not. That's actually useful. Calling to boycott Barnes & Noble is not. But to say that you want to boycott Barnes & Noble or the publisher for publishing it, come on, let's think about what book banning means, right? So like the easiest way to not support books, whether it's the content, whether it's the author that you don't like, is to simply not buy them, not request them from the library, not promote them. On your social media, depending on, you know, what type of following you have. That's what you can do because we unfortunately cannot control everything and we can only do what's within our power. But calling for Barnes & Noble not to carry the book, calling for, I forgot to look at the publisher. Is it Simon & Schuster, Hachette? I don't know. They're all whatever. There's not that many of them. That's calling for book banning. You guys, we don't want to do that. Remember? That's bad. That's bad. But you don't have to like it. Also, I then saw some people mad at Libro FM because Libro FM has the Harry Potter titles. You guys. Again, it's the same thing. You don't have to read those. You don't have to play them for yourself, for your kids. But again, business, they have contracts with people telling them to pull the Harry Potter books off of their platform. It's book banning. It's the same thing if you went to your local library and said you didn't want the Harry Potter books there, which people did do back in the day when Harry Potter was first coming out because, you know, witchcraft. But now that was bad. Book banning. But now because the author is a terrible person, which she is, not trying to take that from you, she is a terrible person. That does not make it any less than like book banning. It's still the same thing. You just have a different reason than the other people. It's not good. We can't do this. If you don't like it, don't read it. Don't promote it. Don't interact with it. Don't watch the show. Don't buy merch. Don't buy books. You can inform people around you about the books, people in your real life. You can try to steer children in your life to other titles, maybe, if you don't want them to read those books. Like, you have all of those choices in your individual life to do what you want. But we cannot, everything is not going to be perfectly for us, right? Like, you have to find a way to exist in the world and like realize you're going to see things you don't like sometimes, that you may not agree with. But as long as that thing is not directly harming you, then you just have to go about your business. And I am not talking about Joanne funding all of these anti-trans legislations. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about seeing a kid read Harry Potter or Liberal FM having them on their platform, and you seeing that is not harm to you. You guys have got to stop. So we, those of the reading community, should know better. We don't have to like all of the books that publishers and bookstores sell. I mean, I don't. When I'm in a bookstore, half the time when I see all of those like ugly people memoirs, Republican, I like to turn them around. I don't move them because I don't want a bookseller to have. I just turn them around because you usually have their face on the front. I don't like that, and they probably don't like that either. But that's just like, I'm like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? That's the most I'm gonna do. But you know what? I'm not gonna read it. I'm not borrowing it from my library. I'm not going to recommend anyone else read it. And I'm going to read things by people that I think are worth my time and whose opinions I want to hear. And I'm going to talk about those and hope that that encourages people to read those instead of the other ones. Y'all got to chill. Okay? It's hard being on these internet streets, Lord, but y'all got to chill. So leave Libro FM alone. If you don't know who they are, they're an audiobook alternative instead of Audible. They have basically the same model, except that you can choose an independent bookstore and so the sales would go to your indie of choice instead of going to Amazon, who owns Audible. So I do like Libro FM, and I would not be canceling them because they still have these titles. Like, let's be real here. Let's get real. Also, I hate that eyeliner man. He's such a bitch. Your wife sucks too. Fuck you, Usha. Yo, there's so much happening. Why? I feel like this is a correlation. Because when the world is crazy, somehow online gets crazier. Because I started my channel in 2020, right? Lockdown, all the protesting and everything in the States. Obviously, we had COVID raging, and everybody was online acting a fool. And now the world and everyone is online acting a fool. Woo! So let me know your thoughts about these things. Keep it cute, keep it respectful, but I always enjoy hearing back from you. Even if I don't reply, I do like to look through the comments when I'm not feeling very anxious. Also, Christmas trip still has spots. Thailand trip coming soon, 2027. Keep yourself posted. Information linked down below. That's all from me. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.